Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I am preparing here to do a full moon reading in the sign of Cancer happening on the 13th of January 2025. I'm in the process of moving, so I don't have quite the normal setting. I hope that you can just bear with me for this. So how are you doing out there? The full moon in Cancer is can be an emotional one. It's a watery feminine zodiac sign. It's also a full moon, so it can indicate that something is over, something is ending. For me, you would say I'm moving, so I am changing my home, and Cancer is also known as the fourth house, representing home, family, base, place of rejuvenation, things like that. So for me, it has this, well, special meaning that I'm moving, right? I get a new home, you know, I move into a new home. But for others, it also represents mother, so the nurturing, caring, motherly embrace that we may hope to find in our homes, right? That is the place that is shifting, or something is shifting, ending, something new is coming. An end is not necessarily bad, right? It's a change. It's an end of something, a start of something else. Full moon can indicate, well, endings or completion, finalizing, being done with, getting over with. It could be, let's say, you're cleansing your home, so you are cleaning your home. You are something has come to an end. Maybe you are changing your furniture. You get new furniture, right? You are imagining home to be somewhere else, perhaps. You're done with some kind of place, perhaps. You want home to be in a new place, maybe a new city. Maybe you are, let's say, finalizing can be, you know, a divorce. It can be an end of an era, an end of something. That may have been, you know, like your home for a while, or it has been whom the person you may have considered home, right? Like a confident, a mother type of person, that now you are not doing that. Now you are on your own, perhaps. You make your own decisions, or you trust in someone else, perhaps, to be the base, the person of confidence, the trustee, the one that is you find an intimacy or privacy with. Cancers are quite like that, private, close, intimate, symbiotic, emotional, sensitive creatures. So let's see what we get here. So this, like, that can be the, I want to see secretive also, like, because it's like, Cancers can be secretive. Not necessarily because they have a lot to hide. It's just their personality. They are associated with the moon in the zodiac. Cancer is the moon. And moon per se is like the moon is always associated with something untold, something private, something a secret maybe, or something hidden, even hidden from your awareness, something you can't undo maybe, something that is unspoken, there can be a lot of emotions and sensitivity around whatever the moon represents. It can be intuitive, psychic awareness. Okay, so I get calming the waters. There could be some emotions that get a bit out of hand. There could be a need to calm down. Stress, right? It says adjustment here, looking back, but also moving forward, right? That you can look back, but still move forward. So adjusting to new situations, setting boundaries. Also here, again, she has her hands up like that. It's this idea of what do you want to let into your space, you could say. Your private, personal home space. It can also be whom you let in to your house, close to you. I see also my Cancerians can be, it could be something about also, what is that called? Like psychosomatic experiences, that you feel something and it sits in the body, right? So what you eat and drink has to do with the well-being of your body per se. So how do you treat your body? How do you treat yourself? Slowing down, try to relax from stress, not having stress into your home environment, right? That there's something, it's sacred in some way. Maybe that's what I'm looking for, like that word, right? Something sacred. That's very Cancerian. That the private space is sacred, right? It's something that is, it's intimate, it's raw, it's sensitive. It's you could say the soft underbelly, right? That is Cancerian energy. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I want to start in the center. That's the first pile I took, so I get winter's end. This indicates that something is ending, something cold, right? Winter, well, we are on the other side of the solstice, so it means that there's more and more sunlight coming. But I get that there's a little bit more to this. It's like something cold or something lonely, maybe. Winter can indicate this tough, cold, uninviting environment, right? That's an environment of indoor, right? The indoor where because it's cold, it's outside, so we don't want to go out. Maybe there could be something about not socializing, having, you know, like having viewed the environment as winter. So not wanting to socialize, not wanting to be engaging or dating, or not wanting to do that, not wanting to have fun or go out, or but that it's like it's coming to an end, or something is ending about that, right? That something is, it says here, regeneration, rebirth, and positive outcome. That is also what you could say our environment is going through right now, at least in the upper hemisphere, right? The winter is cleaning out everything to make room for spring, right? So everything is going through this death process, you could say, decay and so on in wintertime, to make room for new growth in spring. But it's at the end, it's an winter ending time that is coming, right? That it's still here, winter is still here, but there is an end coming to it. So whatever you may have gone through, or whatever I don't know if like it feels a bit like moon, right? That there is a moon energy that is, it's like coming to the end of the dark night of the soul, you know, like you have been in a tunnel of some kind, emotionally sensitive, maybe not social, isolating a bit more, or not wanting to be, not feeling like it, right? Not choosing it. You know, just observing and looking at it, but not feeling that you want to engage of some kind. Maybe maybe it's something like, again, Cancer is the home, family. Maybe there has not been harmony in the family, and you have stayed away from family situations, situations where maybe because you needed to rebirth something about yourself, that could be the reason why you stayed away. Maybe you are the one who made everything cold, you know. Maybe you blocked someone. Maybe you decided not to engage. Maybe you turned cold on something, and that's the winter here, right? But it seems like ending, so there could be something you are willing to accept, or willing to move forward with now. That the rebirth, or the regeneration, or the resurrection maybe of some energy is coming. So you are becoming more positive, or more engaging, or you're accepting something. But I also feel like again, it says here rebirth, regeneration. It's time for something new, right? It's time to put something new into your life. Something maybe lonely, or let's say singlehood is over. Let's say you start dating again, or you move in with someone, right? So you're not single anymore. You now live with someone, or there's something about the cold that is leaving, right? Something that feels cold and lonely, or hard, or difficult, or could be the feeling that like nobody would help you, right? That nobody would help you in with something. That is the feeling of cold, like being out in the cold, you know, like nobody cared, nobody, nobody cared. Now I get nobody called, nobody cared, right? Nobody called, nobody cared. It's like no one checking in. Right now I get this picture of like a lonely lady, a lonely elderly lady in an apartment, right? With grown-up children who are busy with their lives and they never call, right? They never write or call or check in. And it feels very lonely of some kind. But it seems like I'm not saying that they will start calling, but I'm saying that maybe this one stops waiting, right? They are no longer waiting for someone to call. They're no longer hesitating, or they are no longer just sad. It's like they make the winter end because they make new choices, right? So instead of waiting for someone, or instead of being disappointed or sad or something, this one is starting to do something else. They make new choices, I feel like. So maybe the elderly woman joins a social club, you know, or instead of expecting something from something else or someone else who is clearly not engaging in some kind or somehow like that. Ace of Air in the crown position. Aces talk about new beginning. Full moon can do that, right? They kind of complete something, cut something, and then it starts something new. So Ace of Air can be, air is about thought patterns, communication patterns, speech, words, thoughts, construct, like social construct, social ideas, expectations we have of others, where I feel like Ace of Air here talks about new, like new thoughts, new priorities, new ideas, new priorities. I feel like again I get this elderly lady, right, that has been sitting and waiting perhaps for and expecting, you know, like expecting something to come in, expecting something to be there or call or come and visit or something, or come and help, you know. But now this one is making a new decision, right? They don't want to sit and wait anymore. They don't want to, they free themselves in a way of that, right? They are not choosing to be dependent, I feel like, right? That there's something about this, that this freeing thing. The Ace of Air could be like complete new thoughts, complete new ideas, complete new beginning, or complete new options, perhaps, right? Something like that. Wiping the slate clean of. That could also be what this is. To have the winter's end, you may need to wipe the slate clean, right, of expectations, ideas, and also limitations. Like the Ace of Air here could be that you don't want to limit yourself. You wanna not limit yourself, and that is new, perhaps, right? That is new. This could also be something like someone is moving out. Let's say you get your first apartment in you're looking forward to it because it has been tough at home, right? It has been cold, like cold air, cold atmosphere. So you're moving out here, maybe moving out, or this new you want to do comes with a feeling of coldness. Let's say that someone is not happy you're moving out, right? But you're doing it anyway, right? That there's it's maybe on your mind how to make this cold disappear, but again, the Ace of Air to me indicates that you're ready, right? Ready to have something new, that it's like we need a new discussion, or we need a new way of communicating, we need a new boundaries, maybe we need this can be clarity, right? Clarity of mind, clarity of where you're going or where you want to go and what you don't want, right? Again, this setting boundaries and the hands up is something about accepting or not not accepting a certain element of bullshit, perhaps, right? That it has to be more clear, right? We have to have a very clear and honest conversation. I want something new, she says here. I want something new. I don't want to be in some kind of cold winter thing. It could also indicate something about like as I just said, I talked about Earth is doing her cleanse right now. She's things have been since autumn going through this decay, right? The cold air coming in to cleanse everything, right? It will kill certain animals and insects and so on, but that is a natural process. Sometimes something has a natural process. And there could be an acceptance that this is maybe new, right? That you accept that there is a natural process to something. If everything stayed alive here and constantly was reproducing itself, Earth would be totally overpopulated. There wouldn't be any food, right? We wouldn't be able to have as many species. We would still kill each other then, because it would be so packed, right? There wouldn't be room for us if there wasn't a death process. A death process is necessary here, right? It could be something about realizing that cold can be, sadness, grief, sorrow. Maybe you are realizing that something is okay, right? That you have a different clarity about something here. That sometimes things have to end. Maybe there could even be an appreciation of the cold, right? Of the winter, because here it's necessary. Life cannot sustain itself here unless we have a natural process of rejuvenation, death, life, death, life. There will be no crops left, right? There will be no food left. There will be no, like we will kill each other then. Right now, we could say that it's the seasons that does the killing, right? That the heat can kill, the cold can kill, but otherwise it would be us, right? Maybe there is some kind of understanding that And something about cycles, right? That there are cycles of growing up, moving out, right, from home, establishing perhaps your own family. Eventually they move out, right? That there are this cycle where you start something and then it ends, and then it starts and then it ends, and that there's something about these, and that the ends or the winters are not necessarily bad, right? They are just a process of change. So I get here death and rebirth. This is also what I talk about. This the moon card, right? That there's something about this death, rebirth, new life, right? Death, rebirth, new life. Sometimes we have to let death come for something else to arrive or start. Darkness to light. Again, I feel like from winter's end to light. So moving from one position to something else. There could be something like sadness, grief, sorrow, maybe the loss of someone, and then to acceptance, or to, again, the clarity, the light, the understanding, the appreciation, the gratitude, maybe. I say sometimes to people who are grieving that the loss of that person cannot be undone if they are dead. But we can be grateful that we have had such a special person in our lives, and how they impacted us, how beautiful of a soul that was. Because not everybody has that experience. So if there is this very special person, or there was this very special person, and we for some reason lost them, or they are no longer in our lives, we can appreciate how they may have impacted our lives in a beautiful way while they were there. But there was perhaps also a time, right, for this encounter. And maybe it's more important to remember what they brought to your life than what feels like is taken from your life. When we sit and in the taking, it's the loss and lack, the darkness. But what about the things that they did bring when they were here? Because they brought something special, which you are now missing, right? But the gratitude of this encounter, the gratitude of having them, or having had them in your life, that they were special, and you can have them in your heart forever. And that the end is not, again, let's say you are moving out, that someone is moving out from home. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing necessarily, right? I want to say if children are not moving out from home, eventually you could say that the parents will get so old that and let's say you have the children staying there, and they have their girlfriends or boyfriends there, and they have their kids there. Eventually the home becomes maybe overpopulated with people and children and everything, while the parents become older and older and have less and less power to make everything run, right? To a certain point, we need the children to move out and get their own place, right? We need them to leave. Like, not necessarily leave our lives entirely, but we need them to move out. if you have a small apartment, you can have 15 people in there. You know, well, I guess that some people can do that. But as I just talked about with Cancerian energy, sacred, private, intimate, it's like the home is not carrying the same vibe if it's too tucked together, right? So I feel like this full moon, Cancerian full moon, something about the home ending, moving out, moving, getting a new place, dreaming that a specific place or town or maybe a country is your new home. And that is the winter's end. So this idea that, like, when I move to Argentina, then the winter is over, right? This dream I have is going to end my feelings of being alone or in the cold or something. Again, I talked about the upper hemisphere. Maybe you want to move to the southern hemisphere where there is no winter, right? Or less winter or something like that. But death and rebirth, again, these are the cycles of Earth, right? We have summer and winter. We have death and life. We have sun and darkness, or sun and moon. It could be something, because it's in the root position here, it could be something realizing that you belong to a certain, like we say, Leo is the sun, right? Cancer is the moon. So when you have moon energy, it's like there is a part of you that deals with moon. Like I don't think any Cancerian can say that they're not sensitive, that they are not intuitive. I'm a Cancerian sun. Home is very important to me. It's sacred to me. It's important that there is a sense of harmony, balance. Being in a moving process is the opposite of that. So in that case, you could say my winter's end, the cold, is the moving process, because it's disturbing to my peace, right? It's disturbing. Everything is in boxes. I turn everything upside down. I'm sorting and cleaning, and I look forward, you could say, to the new home being sorted again. Then there is a sense of harmony coming back. My winter is ending then, right? The winter can indicate this disturbance of base, the disturbance of the set home, where I know where everything is. It's not in boxes everywhere, right? I have made it my place again. That would be a winter's end, because right now everything is in boxes, and I have contact to all kinds of moving company and insurance and all of that stuff goes away, right? When I get my things into the new place, I start putting it where it's supposed to be. That is the winter's end, right, for me. Then I will turn this disturbance into something else. What else? Yeah, but still I want to say that, yes, as a Cancerian, it feels like a disturbance. but I also see it as a necessary one, right? That this is necessary for the rebirth to come, like for the new beginning to come. I need to go through this. As I said, sorting out things. I have been sorting things, bringing it to recycling, bringing it to stores of reselling some of the things that I no longer need, right? Or that I don't want to hold on to. Everything has a time of importance. So I have furniture that I will not bring into my new home, right? Because I can't, it's not relevant anymore, you would say. So it has a time, right? Here on earth, things has a time. We use things, and then we don't, right? We buy food, we eat it the same day, done, right? We buy furniture, we have it for years, but then we want to redecorate, or we move somewhere else, and it can't be, it's too big or too small or too something, and then the time is over. There is an end to that. We have a car, we drive it for several years, we resell it, right? We sell it to buy a new car, perhaps, so that everything has a sense, at least products, goods, things we buy, it has a certain element of time to it where it's relevant. And sometimes the end is just that. It is perhaps time to let something go, to start something else. So I feel like this winter's end talks to many things. It can literally be that the winter is about to shift. It's still there. It will still be here for maybe a month or so still. But then it's going to change again, and spring is slowly but surely coming in. It can talk about a time, a cold time, a time of doubt, maybe, worry, confusion, dark night of the soul, as I said, where you know something else, you made new decisions, you have a new clarity here. There's something that is being birthed or released, a new chapter, a new idea, a new understanding, a new acceptance about something, a new hope, a new dream. But I feel like it relates to this. It relates to the idea that there is a process of dying or letting go of something to have a new beginning of something else. So sometimes something has to go for something else to start. Again, I said a divorce. But this is interesting because it's in the root position. So when this is in the root position, it's like it's in your genes, right? It's something you are. It's in your genes, it's deeply seated in you to accept, I feel like, these processes. But this is not necessarily normal in society. Society doesn't like these like this. Society does the opposite of this back and forth here. This is what nature does. Nature does this. It shifts the seasons, the crops, the flowers, the death and decay. This is what nature does. But society tries to do the opposite. Society tries to create a bubble of eternal supply, where there are no ups and downs, not much, as little as possible. So though it is winter time, we can still go to the supermarket and get the food. Whereas in old times, it was not like that. There was an abundance of food during spring, summer, maybe a bit of autumn. But then in winter time, there was nothing, right? We had to gather. We had to find ways to preserve food so that in winter time we had something to sustain ourselves, to survive. But in society, we are building this bubble where we are trying not to have the winter, like trying to ignore winter, right? We keep production up. We have found ways to preserve canned food and everything, right? We have found way to preserve food so that we don't get winter like that. Right? It's not like that. It's still available. You can still go to the supermarket in November, December, January to buy food. It's not that there's nothing there. It is there. Something is there. That is what the production system is doing for us, the society food production system is doing for us. It's keeping this more even supply of you could say, food, electricity to power our houses, heating. It's like I say that society is trying to build a womb, right? It's like we want the womb back, where we were supplied, there was warmth, we were protected, and so on. That's what I feel like society is. We're trying to create this an artificial womb for ourselves, where there is this even supply all the time. And I'm saying this because you have realized, I feel like someone has realized that deep down here, your roots do not come from that. Your roots come from this. Like you have evolutionary roots from this. We all have evolutionary roots from this. There's something in our bodies, instincts, needs, something we are detecting in the climate, in the skies, we detect the changes. Though we are living in this artificial womb, right? There's something in you that knows, like your body. Again, I've said in the beginning something about, I feel like Cancerian, yeah, they cherish their home, right? They really do. But there's something about the body as well. Cancerians are sensitive, intuitive. We pick up on things that are not explainable with society standards. This back and forth, life and death and rebirth, life and death and rebirth, it's built in the bodies. I feel Cancerians are very aware of this. This is very known, intuitively very known. Of course, we all know it to a certain extent, right? But in society, we kind of try to ignore the fact, right? We are no longer in survival mode like that. Well, I guess some are who live in very like with poverty and starvation, that in those areas, this is very dominating in their world. They live exactly according to this. But in modern society, I feel like we are trying not kind of to forget it, shove it away, because we have aligned ourselves with this artificial womb society production system. And we don't know, like we have forgotten, right? We don't live according to this. We don't live according to this anymore. How to survive during winter, right? We don't live according to that. We have become accustomed to this other way of living. But you have roots, I feel like. Someone here has roots of that time, right? Evolutionary, like your body knows, right? Your body knows when things are scarce. Your body knows it's reacting to it. So when it becomes winter outside, maybe Cancerians are at play in this. They become very aware about like potential lack, right? Because I believe that Cancerians carry a special connection with the earth. Again, they are considered fourth house, the home. The earth is the home for us. We live on this planet. We come from this planet. We originate from here. Like, though we are created from stardust, this is the atmosphere we live in. This is the water we drink from this planet, right? These are the crops from this planet we live from. Everything with Earth is connected strongly with our bodies. The oxygen we breathe, right? We can't just fly to some other planet and expect to survive there. We are very deeply embedded in everything in us. Every cell here is accustomed to this place, right? And I think there's something here that is like these two go together, right? When you are accepting something very basic about yourself, it gives you clarity and freedom of mind. And it makes the winter go away, like the feeling of being, you know, like life is tough or life is difficult or life here is very cold and very uninviting and sad or isolating. It could be because you needed to realize something about yourself here. Like one of the reasons why you have felt that life may have been difficult is due to this. Like it's because something in you, like from your body, your intuition, your nerve ends, right? Your digestive system, your heart, your sensitive system is operating in a specific way with this constant swinging back and forth with the seasons, with the change, with the distance to the sun, right? You can feel it too, right? During winter when it becomes cold, you know, right? You know that you are further away now from the sun. It's colder, it's more uninviting, right? It's not as pleasant as you would like it to be, right? That you don't like the cold, you feel uncomfortable there. Like cancers, they are born in summertime, right? They are born in like June, July. So this time of year is kind of the opposite. Um, Capricorn season, which we are in right now, is the opposite of Cancer season, the direct opposite. And it could feel like very unwelcoming, right? It's very unwelcoming time. It's too cold for a Cancer, right? Cancer is like the summertime. In June, July, the planet is closer to the sun. It's warmer. It's summertime, or almost summertime in the other hemisphere, right? So there's something about, I feel like, the connection to like the planet, the roots of the trees, right? The water, the raindrops, the sprouting of new plants, the smells of new blossoms, and the wind, right? How the wind blows, like all these like elemental sensations are highly absorbed by Cancerians. Like it's like reading the rain, right? Hearing the rain, talking to it, feeling it, like it's in your genes, right? It's in your nerve cells here. Like it's something you cannot ignore. And when you get to the understanding of this, like when you accept this about yourself, that your body is highly speaking, always observant, it's a constant witness of everything. When you accept this about yourself, it actually frees something, I feel like. It frees you from trying to be something else, perhaps, right? That the swinging, again, the pendulum back and forth, very Cancerian also. The crab is known to walk sideways, right? Back and forth like this. The swinging back and forth here between these light and dark elements here is, again, also very watery. The change of feelings, the emotional changes are highly Cancerian also. But it's almost like when you accept this about yourself here, it gives a certain element of release. Like now you know, right? Something that has been coming deep down from your deep roots is coming to the surface and becomes known now. It's not unknown or unconscious, it now becomes conscious. And because it becomes conscious, you can free it, right? You can accept it, you can forgive it, you can love it, right? You can love it about yourself instead of maybe hating it. Instead of hating it, like the hate is over, or the blame, the self-loathing maybe is over here, because something now becomes known. Something becomes now known. It from unconscious in the root position, unconscious to conscious awareness. Now you can make a new decision. You can make a new choice. You can choose not to wait for something to happen, or for someone to come, or for someone to do something. You can decide to change and do something else. You can make a new decision. Something becomes clearer here. something becomes it's interesting, as I said, in like this idea of society for me is this giant womb. When a baby is in the womb, it's like it is in this, you could say, isolated bubble, unless it's twins, right? But isolated bubble where it's like a one-room apartment where everything is given. Like the child can just, like in its own little pool, bathe there, Food is supplied, warmth is there, protection is there. You don't really have to do anything. You don't have to work. You can just kind of just relax and swim there, you know? And we kind of want some of this back. We can't have it back, but we can try to do something about it, right? So we have built this enormous kind of society that is trying to prevent lack. Like even the health department, right? We have like hospitals, right, to make sure we don't get ill, or they are making whatever they can to help us in some way to get over our issues, our problems. But still society is tough on us, right? Still society is demanding, and life here demands us to engage, demands us to work, demands us to do stuff, right? We cannot just be like the little baby in the womb. Though many of us could maybe secretly a bit prefer that, right? We would like more free time, we would like more leisure time, we would like more play, we would like more freedom, we would like more own decision making, less bills, all this stuff. But there's something here that can help you be free, that can help or release you from something when you accept something here about yourself or some kind of circumstance, death and rebirth. Now I get something about almost like not daring to rebirth, right? Whatever this is, that there's the death and rebirth, like rebirth comes when death is accepted. But if we are not accepting death, rebirth cannot come. Now I'm wondering if there could be some kind of guilt. If someone feels guilty, it could be a winter feeling, right? That if someone feels guilty about something and they can't let go of this guilt, the problem is kept alive, you could say. The guilt is kept alive. The judgment is kept alive. The rebirth is stalled. The change is stalled. It's like being stuck in time. Repeating, like repeating the same thought patterns that make you think that you're guilty. And because you're guilty, you cannot be, if you're guilty, you cannot be good, right? you are bad. And if I'm bad, I cannot have a rebirth here, right? I cannot rebirth myself as a good one if I keep thinking I'm a bad one because I'm guilty. Or if I fear something, I cannot, because I'm frightened or afraid, I cannot have the rebirth because I'm still scared, right? If I'm guilty about something, I'm guilty because I've done something wrong, which makes me bad. If I'm bad, I cannot at the same time be good. So if I'm bad, I'm stalling my rebirth, or I'm stalling a change, right? And feeling guilty about something can make you feel stuck, right? That you are stuck in winter. To make winter end, you need to accept something new about the situation. Otherwise, it can never end. Then you just have winter. But to make winter end, something new needs to come in. Something else must arrive. A new thought pattern, a new way of thinking, a new acceptance of circumstance. Otherwise, it won't change. Can I have one card on this winter's end here? So I get the sun. This is interesting. I just talked about this, like the baby in the womb swimming there in its own pool, you know. It's warm, right? And there's nothing that disturbs, so it's just beautiful flowers here, and it's warm and it's sunny and it's comfortable and nice. And that could be the winter. This is the opposite of winter, right? The sun is the opposite of winter. This is summertime. This is when we say, if I just do like this, winter is winter and this is summertime, right? So winter's end means that you are starting maybe to bathe in your own pool here, right? You are creating or having or choosing to build perhaps a home here that is very, I feel like, comfortable for you, right? It's warm, it's sunny, it's nice, it is maybe filled with flowers, you know. Maybe it's traveling. Maybe, as I said, a new place. Maybe you're moving to Argentina, right, where there is a lot of sun. Maybe you are just creating a home. As I said, there were these flyers in the beginning, setting boundaries. You can look back at something, but still move forward. Look back and learn from something, learn from certain experiences, and then move forward, bearing it in mind, but creating something else in your life, right? Choosing something else. That's the winter's end. When you start choosing something else, right? When you fly alone, perhaps, or you decide for yourself, you can create the world you want. You can create the home you want. You can decide Maybe this is being single. I don't know. Let's say you have been living with someone and it didn't quite work out. It was terrible. Now you want to, have your own apartment or something, your own home, and you want to create it exactly how how it's supposed to be to fit you, right? To be the nurturing, harmonious home that you want, that you need perhaps, right? Something that is where you can rejuvenate, right? Right, that is the winter's end here. That something has felt terrible, I feel like, confusing, very, very. But what I feel like it's like it has to do with the choices. Again, what choices you make. If you choose to prioritize your home, that you need a place that is yours and it's totally in accordance with what you want, what you need to rejuvenate, to be happy, to feel abundant. Maybe it's decorated in a certain way that makes you feel so comfortable. So maybe it's very cozy, maybe it's very elegant, maybe I don't know what, but something that feels amazing here. And it comes when you choose to accept who you are and what you need, right? To accept who you are and what you need, and sometimes we let go of something to have something else. Again, you need to let go of winter to have summer. Like inside, maybe, physically, or maybe sometimes we need to let go of a trauma to heal, right? We need to let go of guilt to feel happy again. We have to forgive ourselves to have more closure or peace. If we keep some kind of drama alive, or some kind of guilt trip, some kind of self-loathing, then we sit stuck in winter. And I say this is easier said than done. I'm just sometimes, right? But this is the process, right? The process is to get to the end. You may have been holding on to it for as long as you can hold on to it. There is no longer need, right? And it's okay for you to make a new decision, a new choice, new boundaries, new way of speaking, right? Air is, for me, has to do with the way we think, the way we communicate, our priorities, our social construct of ourselves and others and the world, how we see everything, how we interpret everything, how we understand it, and how we speak about it. And it's okay to change your mind, right? You can change your mind to, if you accept something about yourself here, maybe something that is a need, and maybe this is a need you have. You have a need to sometimes, maybe you have a need to start and end things, right? Maybe you have a need of swinging between these polarities, that this is you, right? You cannot be a constant. You're not always the same. Like you do swing between, like a pendulum, between yes and no and yes and no, right? And that is who you are. That is how you are. That is the emotional you. It's the sensitive you. You will always swing to, let's say, you swing to the planetary changes in the solar system. Then every time that the moon is changing position, or Jupiter is, or the sun is according to Mars or something else, you may feel it. And like when you accept this about you, that you are not constant, that you swing, right? You swing according to what is happening in the cosmic realm, perhaps, because Earth is part of it. Earth is a planet that moves with the other planets. So this magnetism, gravity thing back and forth that is going on in cosmos, maybe you feel it, right? Because Earth is involved in it. And it swings back and forth according to what the alignment is at the moment. And when you accept this about yourself, that you are not constant, which society is preferring something constant, when you accept this about yourself, then it will actually be maybe a feeling of relief almost, right? A relief, a sense of freedom, that you don't have to be like the trying to be even or constant. The trying to be even and constant, it is not you, right? That is winter for you, trying to be even. You're not even, right? You swing. Like the Cancerians, if you relate to this, that you have elements of this, the swinging, the emotional swinging, and it's part of you. And if you try to ignore it, or like put it aside and not accept it about yourself, you feel miserable, right? You feel miserable. When you accept it about yourself, you will be more happy. When you let it out for people to see that you sit in water, right? You sit in water. Water is your element. When you sit in water, right? You have that is your root, right? That you constantly have your feet, you could say, your feet in the water, right? That is, she stands here she touches the water all the time. That is her root. It's how she's made, right? So when she cannot not feel, right? She cannot be a constant. That's also one of the opposites about women and men. I feel like that men can seem more constant in their approach to life, where women, we shift all the time, right? The menstruation cycle, the emotional shifting is always there. It's part of the root. It's part of how we are created. We are supposed to be like this. We're not supposed to be men, right? Like the even more constant way of. That is also what the difference in the sun is related to masculine energy. And the sun, what we know about the sun is that it at least what it seems like right now, very constant in its glow, right? It's very constant in its way. But the moon, like the feminine moon energy is not like that. It's an opposite energy. Like feminine and masculine energy is not the same. It's the opposite of each other. So even though society favors something constant, right? That if society could rule, it would make us all live forever. It would make us all be productive forever. But that's not how it works. We come from this place, right? We are earthlings. We come from this place. We derive from this evolutionary realm. And our bodies know this, right? They know, a deep-seated knowing. And the sooner we accept some of this about ourselves, the sooner or the more relief I feel like we can have about what I call the swinging, right? The swinging, for those of you who feel like you do swing. It is a full moon reading in the sign of Cancer. So maybe some of you feel unstable emotionally right now. Maybe you feel like your body is reacting in a certain way where it's not constant, right? It doesn't have this constancy to it. Maybe you can't sleep at night, like during this full moon, maybe you can't fall asleep. Maybe you have to pee all the time, right? Moon is affecting the water in the body. And as I said, she stands in water here, right? Cancerians stand in water. It's very watery, emotional, sensitive, intuitive realm. So yeah, it's something like that. I feel like this full moon is coming in almost like a completion of some kind of journey, maybe, to discover something about yourself that you may have tried to ignore, right? And because you have tried to ignore it, you had winter. Life felt bad or terrible, or a part of you that you did not accept. But the more it becomes clear to you here, the more it becomes clear to you, the more you can make this end, right? And becoming more relaxed about yourself, right? Relaxing about the knowledge of your body, perhaps, which I feel like Cancerian energy is also like it. Because it represents home, right? We say that the body is the temple, it's our home. We live with the body, in the body. The body is our home. Earth is our home. It's the intimacy with yourself. So the home, yeah, it's a base, but it's also the intimacy with yourself, the symbiosis with your own body, with how you look or how you move or how you feel. That this is you, right? Owning that this is you. This is how you are. And the more you do that, the more happier you will feel. The sun is the most happy card, right? It represents Leo energies, definitely summer energy, but also happiness, alignment, right? the more happier you feel with yourself. Creating the home or the base that you want. What is your pool supposed to look like? If this is your home, right, that what is supposed to look like? What is supposed to be in there and what's not supposed to be in there? Who is supposed to be in there and who's not supposed to be in there, right? For you to feel safe and happy and abundant and comfortable and comfy and how do you want it to be? This is what I have. And again, it's a full moon, so I feel like something is potentially closing or completing, right? You get more and more of a clarity about what can end the winter here and what your pool or home here needs to contain, right? What is supposed to be here for you to feel happy. I feel like there is a more and more clarity coming in here. A new idea, a new epiphany coming in here about this. And sometimes maybe it is setting boundaries, right? Which you may not have done. That's why it feels like winter here. Maybe it is for you to set boundaries. Maybe it is for you to invite new people in. Maybe it is for you to say goodbye to certain people. New job. Something that feels better here for you. Maybe it is moving, as I am in the process of. Maybe you need to move somewhere else that feels better, more in alignment with you, and what you want, right? Maybe there's more money here, right? Again, winter can be a feeling of lack. Like maybe this is a very expensive place, and this is maybe a cheaper place, but the idea of something being cheaper means that you have more money to do something else. You have maybe more money to decorate it or to, like maybe you can take vacation, maybe that's an option you didn't have here, right? Take it how it resonates in your situation. But something from being like tight and what winter represents this idea that there is not much, that food is scarce, limited funds, limited access to supply, and not having much, and you can't go out and just get it. That's what winter represents. It's cold out there. There are no crops, right? There are no food, there are no apples on the trees. That's what winter represents. That it's like it's not available, right? That something good is not available, where here it is. But sometimes it takes a change of perception. If we believe that there is nothing good out there, that's what you get. If you start thinking, there are good things out there for me, I can end this feeling, I can let it end, then I can also go towards the things that I do want in my life, that makes me feel more abundant, more happy, freer perhaps. But it all comes with the change of mind, which can come with a full moon. Because Ace talks about new, right? yeah, this is what I have. I hope this helped somehow. Take care of yourself, everybody. Bye bye.